Jerusalem Talmud Yomi, Tractate Shabbat. This is the daily reading of the Jerusalem Talmud. Tractate Shabbat, in the first chapter, 4th Mishnah and Halacha, part 2. The rabbis of Caesarea said, of those which they decided, there were 7 of those where they had a majority. The others are the following: a person being on the road when it gets dark gives his wallet to a non-Jew. Similarly, the male sufferer from gonorrhea should not eat with a female sufferer from flux because of inducement to sin. All movables transmit impurity by the thickness of the yoke. How one harvests grapes on a broken field, one who puts vessels under the pipe. For 6 doubts one burns heave, which is truma. Rabbi Yossi ben Rabbi Abun said also the growth of truma, heave. The following they decided, the first 10 and the remainder from what Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai stated. On that day they decided about their bread, and their cheeses, and their wine, and their vinegar, and their fish brine, and their muries, and their preserves, and their parboiled food, and their corn food, and on split grain, and on ground food, and on peeled barley, on their speech, and on their testimony, and on their gifts, and on their sons, and on their daughters, and on their firstlings. Their bread. Rabbi Jacob bar Acha in the name of Rabbi Jonathan. This is the practices of obfuscation. Rabbi Yossi said, so I asked before Rabbi Jacob bar Acha, what does it mean of the practices of obfuscation? Do we say at a place where Jewish bread is available, it is logical that Gentile bread should be forbidden, and they obfuscated about it and permitted it? Or, at a place where Jewish bread is not available, it would be logical that Gentile bread should be permitted, and they obfuscated about it and forbade it. Rabbi Mana said, is there any obfuscation for prohibition? But is bread not like cooking of Gentiles? Are we saying at a place where no Jewish cooking is available, it would be logical that Gentile cooking should be permitted? But it must be the following. At a place where Jewish bread is not available, it would be logical that Gentile bread should be forbidden. And they obfuscated about it and permitted it because of the necessities of life. The rabbis of Caesarea, in the name of Rabbi Jacob bar Acha, following the words of him who was permitting, but only from the store. But one does not do this. They said before the elder Rabbi Chia, Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai stated thus, food you shall buy from them with money and eat, and also water you may acquire, etc. As water is not changed from its natural state, so anything which is not changed from its natural state, they objected, are there not their dry beans, kobtiot, and panakrisin, roasted grain, and hot water permitted? One understands all of these because they can be soaked and returned to their former state. What about roasted grain? Rabbi Yossi ben Rabbi Abun in the name of Rav said, any food which can be eaten alone, raw, is not in the category of Gentile cooking, but one may use it for Erev Tafshilin. How does Rabbi Chia explain food you shall buy from them? You shall buy with food. If you feed him, you bought him. If he causes you trouble, buy him with food, otherwise ply with him money. They say that is what Rabbi Jonathan did. When he saw that a superior came to his town, he sent him an honor gift. What did he say? If a suit involving an orphan or a widow came, he would have a way to mollify him, to pacify him. Their cheese? Rabbi Jeremiah said, why is a Gentile's milk forbidden? Because of admixture from forbidden animals. It was stated so. There is nothing to worry if the Jew stands with the herd while the Gentile milks and brings it to him. Rabbi Abba, in the name of Rav Yehuda, Rabbi Shimon, in the name of Rabbi Joshua ben Levi. Why is a Gentile's milk forbidden? Because of uncovering him. Because of uncovering. Let him make cheese. Rabbi Samuel ben Rav Isaac said, because of the poison left between the holes. It was stated so. There are 3 kinds of poison. One swims, one sinks down, and one is similar to a net on top. In the days of Rabbi Jeremiah, the barrels of the great assembly were uncovered. The first one drank and did not die. The latter ones died. I say it was sinking poison. Workers were in the field. The water pitcher was uncovered. The first ones drank and did not die. The latter ones died. I say it was sinking poison. Uncovering is not a danger for oil and vinegar, brine and mures and honey, but Rabbi Shimon forbids. The sages agree with Rabbi Shimon when it was seen pecking. It was stated thus: if a watermelon was pecked and 10 people ate from it, or wine was uncovered and 10 people drank from it, it is forbidden to eat or drink after them. I say that there was sinking poison. Their oil, who forbade the oil? Rav Judah said, Daniel forbade it. Daniel was careful not to defile himself by the king's repast and the wine he drank. Rabbi Acha, Rabbi Tanchum Bar Chia, in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, but some say in the name of Rabbi Joshua ben Levi. For it, they were climbing up the king's mountain and were killed for it. And who permitted it? Rabbi and his court permitted it. At 3 places is Rabbi Yehuda the Prince called our teachers in divorce, documents, oil, and a sole. I guess the sole of a shoe. They should have called him a permissive court. For any court which permits 3 previously forbidden things is called a permissive court. Rabbi Yudan ben Rabbi Ismael said, his court disagreed with him about bills of divorce. Rabbi Yochanan asked, did we not state, for no court may invalidate the words of another court unless it be greater in wisdom and numbers? And Rabbi and his court permit what Daniel and his companions forbade. Rabbi Yochanan follows his own opinion. For Rabbi Yochanan said, in the name of Rabbi Elazar ben Rabbi Tzadok, I have a tradition that any restrictive edict passed by a court which is not accepted by the majority of the public is not an edict. They checked and found in the matter of the edict about oil and did not find that a majority of the public followed it. Isaac bar Samuel bar Martha went down to Nisibis. He met Rabbi Simlai the southerner, who sat and expounded. Rabbi and his court permitted the oil. Samuel accepted this and ate. Rav did not eat. Samuel told him, eat, otherwise I shall declare you a rebellious elder. He answered him, when I still was there, I knew who complained about it. Rabbi Simlai the southerner. He told him, did he say it in the name of himself? No, in the name of Rabbi Yehuda the Prince. Rabbi Judah the Prince. He bothered him, and he ate. Their daughters, Rabbi Elazar said, in 7 places it is written, do not intermarry with them. Rabbi Abun said to forbid 7 peoples. Rabbi Joshua from Ono stated to forbid their eggs. Rabbi Ishmael stated, and the ostrich's daughter. This is the ostrich's egg. Their semen. But did not Rabbi Acha, Rabbi Hinena say in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, a Gentile's semen is pure for semen, a Gentile semen is pure. Shechvat zarosh lagoy tahora. A Gentile semen is pure for semen, cannot be discharged without urine. What is that supposed to mean? What's the difference between a non-Jew and a Jew there? About the rules of a person with an emission, in the name of Rabbi, he may say practical rules but not homiletics. With stated in the name of Rabbi Yossi, he may repeat known rules, but he may not expound the Mishnah. Someone to say he may not mention the divine name. And about the rules for the land of the Gentiles, but did not Rabbi Ze'era bar Abina say, in the name of Rav Jeremiah? Let's see how we are in time here. Okay, some time. Joseph ben Yoezer from Sereda and Yossi ben Yochanan from Jerusalem decreed impurity of the land of the Gentiles and of glass vessels. Rabbi Jonah said Rabbi Judah ben Tabai. Rabbi Yossi said Rabbi Judah ben Tabai and Shimon ben Shetach decreed impurity of metal vessels. Hillel and Shammai decreed about purity of hands. Rabbi Yossi ben Rabbi Abun in the name of Rabbi Levi, so practice had been in their hands, but they forgot it. The secondary authorities came and agreed with the intent of the first ones to teach you that everything for which the court made a real effort, will in the end be confirmed for them, as it was said to Moses on Sinai. This comes, as Rabbi Mana said, for it is not an empty matter for you, if it is if it's an empty matter, it is from you, since you do not exert yourselves for it. For it is your life. When is it your life? Any time you are exerting yourselves for it. Kilo devar reku mikem. V'im devar reku mikem. Kilo devar reku mikem. Shmuel said they taught this only about the 18. Therefore, other than 18 even, a lesser court may abolish. They objected, is there not the sabbatical year? This is not the 18 items. Rabbi Yochanan said it and asked about it. Rabbi Chris Bedai in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, Rabban Gamliel and his court abolished the prohibitions of the first two terms. Rabbi Yochanan asked, did we not state, for no court may invalidate the words of another court unless it be greater in wisdom and numbers? There came Rav Abun, Rav Judah in the name of Samuel. They taught this only about other decrees than the 18. Therefore the 18, even a greater one, cannot abolish, because they fought for it with their lives. Rabbi Bana said, this makes it reasonable that it is not so, since this is a case of force, it is invalid. They objected, is there not oil, which is of the 18? And Rabbi Yochanan, some say, objected. Rabbi Kahanan, the son of Rabbi Chia bar Abba, Rabbi Acha, bent it in the name, sent it. In the name of Yochanan, oil, they abolished what was abolished. Nachman, the son of Samuel bar Nachmani, in the name of Rabbi Shmuel and Nachmani, 5 kinds of purification sacrifices which are left to die. If the court decides to abolish it, they may abolish. Rabbi Chia bar Abba said that means that they are not sent to die, but are used for voluntary sacrifices. But as far as sacrificing on the altar is concerned, no purification sacrifice destined to die may be sacrificed.